So Mortal Kombat wins round 1.
Without a doubt. And now it's time for Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Round 2.
Fight!
Fight!
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Jaime Sub-Zero.
Robert Duell.
And we are here to continue Mortal Kombat Week here on the Horror Show channel with Mortal Kombat Annihilation. This came out 2 years after yesterday's movie, which was the original Mortal Kombat. They replaced a few of the cast members and did away with any semblance of quality, in my opinion. Going into our overall thoughts, I hated this movie the first time I saw it, and most subsequent rewatches. Upon rewatch this time around, I actually found a few more things that I liked than I had previously before, but overall this movie is still an abysmal failure as both a movie and as a Mortal Kombat property.
Yeah, biggest thing for me is that I felt like they really skimped on the budget, and the original made a good deal of money. So it's like, what New Line Cinema was thinking with, I mean, I guess it was just a cash grab at that particular point. You know, they're like, we don't need to bring back all of the main actors. We don't need to bring back Paul Anderson. I can't remember if he was doing Event Horizon by this time or if he had
Yeah, because that was 97 also.
Yeah, yeah. So he was busy making the best movie of his career. And yeah, so this just... The biggest thing is that it's got just a little bit of a script to it, and it's really just more fights than anything, and, you know, with just a little bit of narrative from the third video game surrounding it. I didn't hate it as much upon this rewatch as I remembered absolutely despising it being in the theater and just being so pissed seeing it in the same Krypton theater, same friends, and, you know, having already gone to the arcade earlier in the day and, you know, played one of the games. I can't remember if it was 3 or if 4 was out by that time. But nonetheless, this was a major disappointment. But I think I can look at it in a little bit more of an objective light and find things to appreciate. But that's just me being kind because I love the franchise. So.
Robert.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, actually, I remember liking this movie a lot more than I did upon my rewatch. Yeah, there's just... I don't know, man. Like, maybe it was for one, I didn't like the recasting of what's his name, James Remar for Raiden,
or Sonya, or Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
those
him right away.
Yeah, yeah. That's I think why they fucking just threw Johnny right out. But no, like the only 2 returning cast members we have is Robin Show and Tulsa Soto for Katana and Liu Kang. Those are the only ones we had original coming back. And I'm still trying to figure out where the hell they went wrong with this movie.
Everywhere.
Well,
Lots of places.
obviously everywhere and everything, but it's like this, between the writing, the acting, like everything was just so much more campier and hammy than what the original was and what this one ever should have been. This one should have been much more brutal than what we got on the first one. Hell, they should have even made this one an R-rated movie. And I think it probably would have worked out a lot better.
We'll find out on Friday.
Yeah. Well, again, that's I'm going back to the the modernization of the characters and everything. But no, this movie, like, yeah, upon the rewatch, I've had more of a dislike for it now than I did before. So I'm actually kind of sad. I did a rewatch.
Damn.
I just kind of felt like they didn't respect the material or the audience anywhere near as much with this one, you know. And I don't know why that approach was taken, but I guess because money, you know. So
yeah, they were literally just throwing in characters left and right for no damn reason. And it's like even there was even mention of Stryker and Cabal at one point in the movie that I forgot about, and they apparently just got like snuffed off just off screen. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, of all people, like Cabal, I don't know about that. Like Stryker, maybe.
Yeah. So I mean, the story tries to pick up right where the last one left off, except Shao Kahn doesn't respect the fact that we won the 10th Mortal Kombat. He shouldn't be able to invade. He breaks the rules and invades anyway, and so
weird
Earthrealm needs to fight off his minions and him himself before Outworld swallows Earth. So that's the crux of the story, and there's no more to it than that. There's no depth to any of the characters, no sort of personal equity, except for the fact that the world's gonna die if they don't do anything. So it's just a mess of a story. It's just awful.
The only one that I will chime in a little bit about that I don't think I appreciated properly, and this is me grasping for straws as I talk about often on this program, but I do like the Kitana Sindel kind of dynamic in this, and you know
okay.
that's really one of the only just relationships that I thought had any real like emotional kind of bearing in this compared. I mean, even like we start this movie with two characters who were like kind of flirted about as being love interests, and there's suddenly these like big time love interests, you know, between, you know, Kitana and Lou, and then, you know, Cage and Sonya, and you're just like, oh, this really progressed quickly from the last movie when we're supposedly picking up right where the last movie left off, which was kind of silly. But yeah, I mean, as far as writing and story and stuff like that goes, this is so much more heavy on the fight, and I think whereas the previous movie was trying to get people who possibly hadn't played the video game interested in the story, this one was most definitely anticipating that the viewers knew what was going on in the games, and so they didn't even really try to explain very much because of that. That's kind of like, they did not go for the crossover approach. They're like, we have a built-in audience, they know what's going on, we don't have to explain it very well, and I think that's one of this movie's big failures, unfortunately.
No, I most definitely agree. Like, especially with that, yeah, they're just expecting people to know who all these characters are, and then even going back to what I was saying, like they were literally just throwing all these random little characters in there, and it didn't fit. Like the bits and everything, like the Jackson Cyrax fight.
Unnecessary.
Like, it
Done
was
so much better in Legacy, right?
it was and everything, but it's like, I don't know, like, even and this is more so, honestly, I'll have to save this for when we get to like the costume and effects aspect and everything. But yeah, for just quick finishing up on the writing, it was abysmal compared to what we had for the first one. Like they didn't give a rat's ass about this. It seemed like they were just trying to cash grab for some new money. Oh, cool, we have fans, let's make another one.
Yeah, and the franchise was so iconic by this point. I think Ultimate Mortal Kombat, I think, was the current incarnation that was out in arcades and getting ready to make its way to home release, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, stuff like that. But that, I mean, they wrote a girl mud fight in this movie.
Oh my god.
I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
Not only that, but immediately afterwards, after Sonya was covered in mud, she runs back to join the other person completely clean. Yeah. Mud just disappeared.
I didn't even realize that.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah. So acting.
There's
There's kind of some acting in this.
Yeah, let's talk about the even worse campy acting than we even got from fucking any. I would take Street Fighter or Double Dragon over this movie.
Oof.
I don't know if I'd go Double Dragon, but
there are other video game movies I would definitely watch before this one. Like loads of them. Tomb Raider, the recent Tomb Raider, not the least of which. That was actually pretty entertaining.
with Vikander, yeah, that was pretty good actually.
I watched that one, yeah.
It's not bad, but I mean, there's even some other bad video game movies I would watch before this one, including like the Hitman movies.
Dude, I would watch Super Mario Bros. Over this, man.
Oh yeah, Mario Bros.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
All right, so the story sucks. The acting is not much better. I mean, outside of Lou and Kitana, who both somehow got worse in this movie because of the material they were delivering. Like, Lou went from a confident hero in the first movie to a, like, ballless simp in this one, almost. Like, he was, like, unsure of himself the entire movie, and then at the end, they have to be like, we believe in you, Lou. Like, as they all stand stoically, we believe in you, Lou. And he's just like, I can do this. And it's like, no, it's so bad. It's all just so bad. The acting of look,
I didn't mind
Shao
Sonya Blade
Kahn
in
was
this.
just awful.
That was
I
crap.
didn't hate Shao Kahn.
He was awful. Sindel was terrible.
She's hamming it up.
Too bad you will die.
Yeah.
Like, really? Did we
Yeah.
need a quadruple pause there, bitch? Like, really?
Beyond dramatic.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I know it's chauvinistic
Well,
for me to say bitch.
even-
I watched the history of swear words, most of them,
Nah.
and
Yeah.
apparently I'm not allowed to use it as comedy anymore.
Oh.
Because, man, oof, that was rough. So, lady, Sindel, not a fan.
Yeah, well, hell, even like the guy who played Mataro, the girl who played Shiva.
Oh,
Yeah,
Like-
Shiva, who just gets, like,
awful. Ugh.
like capped like in such a stupid way by one of the
Yeah.
one
Well,
of the Middle Earth hamster balls.
Yeah. Basically, it's one of
That
those things
whole
like if you weren't paying
sequence.
attention, you wouldn't have noticed.
No.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
like even like and like Nightwolf was one of my favorite characters from the video games. That was garbage.
Why did he
And-
not come and help?
I know. Okay.
That's
Also,
one of the
here's
big things.
one thing that I did notice upon the rewatch. He's the guy from he's the Indian from Indian in the Cupboard.
No kidding. Oh
Yeah.
my
That
goodness.
feels somehow racist.
No, it's not. It's an actual movie. It's a Disney movie.
No, I know, but the
I
fact that they're like,
remember.
we need an Indian. Let's
Yeah.
get the Indian in the cupboard.
'Cause I
He's
think
just
that
sitting
had
there.
come
He's
out
just sitting there.
He's just
before
waiting.
this movie.
He's still
Yeah,
got
I
his
know.
headdress on and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, he's not fighting Darth Vader anymore, you know. So
Oh shit.
So let's talk about, once again, I mean, we might as well follow a similar format from the last review. Let's talk about the sound design and the music, which the sound design was okay, I guess, but the music was just god awful.
it's not an iconic soundtrack like the previous one at all.
It
man.
was trying to be the first soundtrack so hard.
But yet it didn't have any of the heavy hitting, like just noteworthy groups
Nope.
involved. It just tried to recreate in a very, not even half-assed, quarter-assed fashion, the kind of electro-industrial sort of vibe of the previous one. But
And then in the culminating battle, it literally just lifts the old song for the new battle, the Mortal Kombat one.
back to the well, man.
It was awful. The sound design and the music was just disappointing as all hell in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing else I need to echo off.
There's
Fair
very
enough,
little.
fair enough.
That's
So-
why
Yeah.
we both quieted
So
down.
the last thing I will say the stages, the actual production design, the sets and everything still were not bad. They weren't nearly as cool as the first one and weren't
Nope.
nearly as varied as the first one, but they were still good enough. Like, I liked the lab fight. I liked some of the Outworld stuff. Like I said, not nearly as good as the first one, but still more set design than you got in movies like this at the time.
Yeah, my biggest criticism, though, is that whereas the previous film did a lot of stuff on location, this felt like it was pretty much all on sound stages.
It was a lot of sound stages.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna echo on that, but I will talk about the actual costume design
Yeah.
in this. Holy shit! It looked like cardboard half the time. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna take for example Scorpion when he comes back for his fight with Sub-Zero's younger brother or whatever. Between both of them, their face masks and their getup, it was like a dollar store fucking menu.
I'll take it one
It's
step
not like
further.
half-assed
I'll take it one
cosplay,
step
like
further
Fuego
with
cosplay.
with Cyrax, who is supposed to
That-
be a metal ninja, but looks
Dude.
like shiny plastic.
Dude, he walked off the dirt bike track
Yeah.
to go fight Jax.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally what he did.
Yeah. Now,
It was garbage.
yeah. So,
And then like Melina, like she was crap. Like, and that was the girl mud fight and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
although I don't know that she's going to be much different than that in this new incarnation, except that her mouth will look better.
Yeah, but also the costumes will look better.
Well, I hope so.
It's still a character that's really tough to get right with the teeth and like the slices on the cheeks and everything. It's just,
I will
yeah.
I will say though, like just on a forward for when we get to Legacy, they did it right in that.
I think so. Except some of the shots, you could see the prosthetic
It was
parts
pretty
just
bad.
right there.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
she had regular teeth at some points, and then
Yeah.
CG
Yeah.
spiky.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah,
we'll
because
get
they're supposed to grow or whatever. But we'll talk about
We'll
that when we
get
get
to
to.
Yeah.
So the effects in this one were they ranged from bad to just god awful terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, of course, the fucking shittiest of shittiest final confrontation of Dragon versus Hydra kind of thing. And it's like, if you can't afford to do this right, don't do it at all.
Exactly.
So.
It was so bad. The effects were so bad the whole time. People just, Shao Kahn especially, just like doing this and like just a green ball of light flying out afterwards.
Yep.
It's both a positive and a negative for me, because one of the few positives I had for this was the fact that so many powers were actually represented.
Yeah.
So many special moves were actually represented. From Johnny Cage's Shadow Kick, that was
True.
dope to see early on, to Shao Kahn's Fireball, to, you know, you saw like Sector's net, you know what I mean? You saw a lot of really cool special
things
moves
with Shiva
that they did
and,
not
like,
do.
Melina.
Shiva, but
I didn't even mind the
Or no,
Nightwolf
Sindel,
stuff,
sorry.
honestly.
Sindel,
I did not mind the Nightwolf stuff very much. I thought that actually was some of the better effects in the film.
It wasn't terrible. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, some of them
used
are
the
okay,
real
but
dog.
some of them are god awful. Most of them are god awful.
Most of them, yes, that's an accurate assessment.
Robert?
Especially, it's really the CG is our worst. I'll give a pass to like the practical effects more so than not and everything, but with the CG, you don't really get a pass with that. Like, that was between like the tracking that they had for it. It was so choppy.
Some of the worst compositing for green screen you'll ever see.
Because for one, like you have Shao Kahn looking up, and then Liu Kang still down below transforming. It's like, come the fuck on, guys. Like,
Inexcusable.
Yeah, it's really, really bad.
No, it really is and everything, especially because if they're trying to bank on this for another big hit and to expand the property and the movies even more, no wonder why we haven't had really another one since Legacy and shit.
That's why we didn't get a third film. That's why
Yep.
I mean this entry
And honestly, I'm
essentially
fine with that.
killed the franchise dead in the water at the time. The video games were still quality and they continued over the years, but this, at least as far as live action goes, man, it
was definitely a fatality.
Yeah, it finished him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go, guys. That's pretty much all we need to say about Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Still not really worth your time unless you're prepared for super cheese. Like, I think this could be made into a really good drinking game, but there's really not much other it could be useful for.
I will at least say one thing. It's cool on the fact of we have all these various characters we got to see brought to life onto screen. That's the one positive I will say. Executed correctly and well done? No. But I'll give them at least on that pass.
Yeah.
And just real quick, or like for like the stuff like from Mataro, for the practical effects that we did have for him, and even some of his CG stuff fights with Jax, that actually didn't look too bad.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad.
Hey, don't get me wrong, it was bad, but it wasn't bad as compared to the rest of them.
It was up there. It was up there.
All right, whatever.
I've seen better Minotaurs, I think, and I think that's what he's classified.
No, he's
right?
a centaur.
Centaur,
he's a centaur.
I knew I was effing it up. So.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, that's gonna do it, guys, for our thoughts on Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Round 2, unfortunately, does not go to Mortal Kombat. He is the entity is going to lose this particular round.
So we are 1-1 now.
Yeah, why don't you guys let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts are. While you're down there, click the like button and subscribe. Ding that notification bell if you want to get all the rest of the Mortal Kombat material that is coming this week, including tomorrow's episode, which is going to be our review of Mortal Kombat Legacy 1 and 2, the web series that was better than you might think if you haven't seen it. So we'll be back to discuss that tomorrow. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel as directly as you do. The link to that is in the description box, where you can tell us movies to watch and other such good stuff. So thank you guys very much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been Jaime Sub-Zero.
Robert Duell.
And remember, stay scared.
Stay scared.